This is a very huge breaking news story that is coming out of Virginia, particularly, excuse me, at the University of Virginia, where you have this individual right here whose name is Christopher Darnell Jones, who is the suspect of a shooting in which 5 people were shot, 3 were murdered, and 2 were injured. And I believe the 3 that he murdered were on the football team alongside him. This is a crazy story right here, and it's developing. When I first heard about this, I immediately thought of V-Tech. For those of you who don't remember, back in 2007, there was a shooter, an active shooter on the Virginia Tech campus. It was an Asian male, and he went on basically a shooting spree on the campus before he was actually taken out. But this right here is a whole different ball game that we're dealing with. So this is the guy right here. This is him. This is 2 different pictures of him, but it's the same person. And yeah, he has been captured and he is now currently in custody. So, when it comes to stories like these, you know what website I love to go to. I don't have to say it. Y'all already know. So I'm going to read what was posted on here. It was dated November 14th, 2022. As a matter of fact, I believe it was probably posted hours ago, but it was just recently updated, probably about 30 minutes ago from the time of me recording this video. Christopher Darnell Jones is a University of Virginia student and former football player accused of killing 3 people and wounding 2 others in a shooting on the Charlottesville campus on November 13, 2022. At the time of them actually posting this, he was at large, but as of right now, he has been captured. Police confirmed in a news release that 22-year-old Christopher Jones was the suspect. The suspect, who also goes by the name Chris Jones, was a football player at UVA in 2018, according to Virginia Sports. He did not appear in any games for the Cavaliers that year. Jones is from Petersburg, Virginia. The victims killed in the shooting have been identified as 3 current football players, the university announced at a press conference. They have been named as Devin Chandler, Lavelle Davis Jr., and Deshaun Perry. And I'm going to show their pictures in a little bit. The other 2 victims are also students. One is in critical condition and the other is in good condition, the university said. Perry, a linebacker and defensive end, was a junior from Miami. Davis, a junior running back, was from South Carolina. Chandler, a junior wide receiver from North Carolina, previously played at the University of Wisconsin and transferred to UVA in 2021. University of Virginia President Jim Ryan said at the press conference the shootings happened on a bus full of students returning from a field trip. And then right here, it actually has the email where it says, "Dear students, we have all received several shelter-in-place texts, and they are frightening. I am on grounds like many in place and in direct touch with university leadership and UPD. Please take shelter. The suspect is armed and dangerous. If you are inside and safe, please remain there. Know that UPD, CBD, and multiple jurisdictions are working diligently to locate the suspect." It says, "Please stay away from the university as we will give you the most up-to-date information. Stay safe." And then it gives some additional information right there. The dean of students warned students in an email that Jones is armed and dangerous. Ryan said in a letter to the students and the campus community around 10:30 p.m. last night, there was a shooting on the grounds. One of our students, Christopher Darnell Jones Jr., is suspected to have committed the shooting. The suspect remains at large and is considered armed and dangerous. Ryan added, "As of this writing, I am heartbroken to report that the shooting has resulted in 3 fatalities. 2 additional victims were injured and are receiving medical care. We are working closely with the families of the victims, and we will share additional details as soon as we are able. Our university police department has joined forces with other law enforcement agencies to apprehend the suspect. We will keep our community apprised of developments and the situation as the situation evolves." And now it's about to get into the 5 facts about this individual right here. The first one reads, Christopher Darnell Jones was on the radar of the University of Virginia's threat assessment team. University of Virginia Chief of Police Tim Longo said Christopher Darnell Jones came to the attention of the University of Virginia's threat assessment team in the fall of 2022. The second one reads, Jones was an all-conference football player in high school and a member of the National Honor Society. Jones's football bio says that he did not appear in any games for the University of Virginia, although he was on the 2018 roster. However, the bio says he was a high-achieving high school student, both on the field and off. He's 5'9" tall and 195 pounds as a freshman. The bio reads played linebacker and running back at Petersburg High School for head coach Michael Scott, earned honorable mention, all-conference honors as a senior, spent first 3 years of high school at Varina High School, where he earned honorable mention all-conference as a freshman and second-team accolades as a sophomore and junior. Member of the National Honor Society, National Technical Honor Society, president of Key Club, president of Jobs for Virginia Grads Program, named Student of the Year as a freshman and sophomore at Varina, son of Margot Ellis and Christopher Jones Jr., has 3 siblings, Eliza, Darius, and Varian. Now, what's crazy about reading that bio? This guy seemed like he had everything going for him. Like, look at that. That's a pretty extensive student resume right there. Like, this guy seemed pretty flawless. And it makes you question what the hell ticked him off or sent him off to make him murder 3 people on the football team and shoot 2 others. Like, that's my biggest question right here. It doesn't seem like there was really anything going on. Like, now it's like this at this point where you want to know what the motive is. The thing about them taking him alive, they may be able to pull a motive out of him. The third fact states, police say people should call 911 if they see Christopher Darnell Jones. The UVA Police Department is looking, like I said, this is more so past tense because they've already captured him. I'm going to see if I can find an article that's more updated, but I just wanted to read heavy because they go a little bit more deeper. The UVA Police Department is looking for Christopher Darnell Jones regarding the shooting incident that occurred on the grounds of the University of Virginia. Call 911 if seen. Do not approach, police wrote after midnight on November 13, 2022. The motive is not yet clear. Further details about the shooting have not been released. Police have not said what type of weapon was used in the shooting or if the victim were targeted by the suspect or was shot randomly. When I think that this guy shot and killed 3 people on the football team, in which he was on the football team, and they said he didn't play, I'm more inclined to believe that this was targeted because he would have known these guys. They would have most likely known him. So I think that the football players were targeted. As far as the 2 other people, that's up in the air of whether they were targeted or if those were random. But as far as the football players on the team, I truly believe almost without a shadow of a doubt they were targeted. But like I said, that's just an assumption at this point. Ryan added in his letter, multiple law enforcement agencies are coordinating to find and apprehend him. He was last seen wearing a burgundy jacket, blue jeans, red shoes, and he may be driving a black SUV with Virginia license plate number TWX380. First and foremost, please continue to follow guidance you receive through the UVA alert system. Ryan said at the press conference, although we do not have yet have a full understanding of the motive and circumstances surrounding these events, police are investigating as we speak. We will continue to keep the community notified of developments. I'm grateful to law enforcement for their response and to our community for facilitating their work with what I realize has been a long shelter-in-place order. The 4th point reads, a newspaper profile described Jones' fractured family and troubled upbringing. So now it seems like we're getting somewhere because the first part read like, everything just seemed fine. But now this one is stating that there was something going on at home. But let's see what they talk about. Jones was featured in a Richmond Times-Dispatch profile story in 2018. It started by saying that friends wanted to know why Jones was, quote unquote, so upset as they rehearsed graduation. The article appeared on the front page of the local paper. Chris Jones was the only one among them who would attend the University of Virginia in the fall, the newspaper reported. According to that story, Jones's graduation came after a troubled upbringing, including a fractured family, school fighting, and suspensions, and one that began in Richmond in 2-bedroom apartments in the Essex Village and Mosby Court housing complexes. Now, it's interesting the contrast of what I just read there versus what I read in like the second point of this article, where it was listing all of his accomplishments in school and all the clubs he was a part of, the awards that he got, the acknowledgments, and then you fast forward to what I just read and it's like night and day. So it's like on the academic side, he was flawless, but in his personal life, it was, if I had to grade it, it was almost like an F. So I wonder if it stemmed from that. But again, we still don't know what a motive is. But the fact that they took him in alive, we might actually get something. We might actually get somewhere. He learned that the safest place to play was inside while growing up, the article says. Jones was open about describing how sometimes he was not in a good headspace. He went to an alternative school, but an aunt encouraged him to study, the article reported. In 2018, the Petersburg Kappa League wrote on Instagram, "Congratulations to Kappa Leaguer Chris Jones for winning the Dr. Porcher L. Taylor Jr. Scholastics Award, hashtag NKLC18, hashtag Kappa League." I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hashtag I am achievement, hashtag I am Kappa League, hashtag why Kappa's mentor, hashtag achievement, hashtag guide right. The active shooter alert was sent out by UVA's emergency management department. UVA alert says active attacker firearm reported in area of Cold Breath Road, run, hide, fight. And they wrote that in all caps. The university's emergency management department tweeted, "The last point reads, classes were canceled on Monday, but the shelter in place was lifted because police are confident the suspect has left the area." The University of Virginia Office of Emergency Management tweeted at about 10:30 a.m. update, the UVA shelter in place order has been lifted based upon a thorough search on and around the grounds. A large police presence will remain. The emergency office previously said a search was being conducted by multiple police agencies, including the Virginia State Police, which was using a helicopter. The alert again warned students the suspect should be considered armed and dangerous. Ryan said at the press conference, law enforcement, including university police, local law enforcement agencies, and Virginia State Police continue their search for the suspect and will not stop until he is found. They have, however, lifted the shelter in place order following an exhaustive building by building search of grounds and are confident the suspect has left the area. Classes and all extracurricular activities have been canceled for today, including the men's basketball game scheduled for this evening. The emergency management department tweeted out a suspect description. UVA alert, suspect described as a black male wearing a burgundy jacket or hoodie, blue jeans, and red shoes. UVA President Jim Ryan said in a letter to the students, stating, "This is a message any leader hopes never to have to send, and I am devastated that this violence has visited the University of Virginia. This is a traumatic incident for everyone in our community, and we have canceled classes for today. I am holding the victims, their families, and all members of the University of Virginia community in my heart today. And we will make plans to come together as a community to grieve as soon as the suspect is apprehended." A parent wrote on Twitter, "My daughter is currently safe at the University of Virginia, sheltering in place in her apartment. We have heard there are multiple student deaths. Please pray they find the shooter." Authorities are posting alerts and updates on the emergency management page of the university, which they posted a link on the page. So that's the entire article right there. But before I get into some updates involving him, let me bring up a picture of the victim. So these three men right here are the three men that were murdered by Christopher Darnell Jones. So as you can see, these are three black men right here, and they were all murdered by him. And you know that you can see they all have on the tie and whatnot, and they have that special kind of picture because they were all on the football team with each other. That's why I truly believe, without the shadow of a doubt, that they were targeted. Why? I have no clue. But I don't see how this could have been random. I don't see how this could have been random at all. And the fact that the suspect has been apprehended and taken in alive, now they can pump it from information to find out what was his motive behind doing what he did. But nonetheless, RIP to all three of these men and condolences to their families and loved ones. So this right here is more of the update. As you can see, he was captured. It says UVA shooting suspect in custody who killed 3 football players, injured 2 others. And I'm not going to read this article because it's kind of a rehashing of what I just read. The only new update that came along with him being taken into custody was stating that he was not found on the campus, but they're not revealing where he was found at. So it's like, they're just kind of leaving that up in the air as a mystery of where they apprehended him at, but they can confirm that they did not find him on the campus. And I kind of figured that they did find him because when they said that they took the shelter in place and they removed it, that pretty much lets you know that he was not found on the campus, or they had already had him, because if he was still active or at large and they didn't have him, or he was not deceased, then they would have still had that shelter in place order locked in. But the fact that they took it off means that he was not on the campus or he was dead. But as you can see, the latter is not true, but the first and the former is, but he just wasn't captured or on campus. But this is a story I'm most likely going to follow because, it hits close to home, even though the University of Virginia is a few hours away from me, but it is in Virginia. It's in the state below me, and it's in Charlottesville. Ironic, the irony. This is probably the next biggest story to come out of Charlottesville since 2017. And y'all know what happened at that time. But if I have any people that live down in Virginia, if you can leave down in the comments or even in the chat any more additional information that you've heard pertaining to this story, because like I said, it's a breaking news story. It's fresh, hot off the press. Let me know any type of updates or anything that you've heard down in that area, because I'm almost certain that this story has made national news by now.